The Dorothy and Peter Brown Jewish Community Adult Day program will host its 9th annual dementia-friendly high holiday service on Sunday, September 28th at 11 a.m. at the Fleischman Residence Chapel in West Bloomfield. The shortened one-hour service is thoughtfully adapted to support individuals living with dementia and their families, featuring familiar melodies and prayers designed to spark memory and comfort. Debi Banooni, the Senior Adult Services Director for Gesher Human Services, joins us now on the Splash Live to tell us more. Debi, thank you so much for joining us today.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Love to have you with us. Really interested in hearing about this service that's coming up soon. This is the 9th year of the dementia-friendly high holiday service. How has the program evolved since it first began 9 years ago?
So originally when we started with this program, we rotated locations and we had it at different congregations and centers, and we had different people leading the service. And we have found what we think is the ideal location and leader of our service for this time. And for the last few years, we've had it locally at Fleischman Residence. And we've also had the same leader, Cantor Pamela Schiffer, has led the service for us for the last several years. So we've experimented and learned new things and have found what really works for our group to have a meaningful experience.
I love that. You've tested the waters a few times, you've changed the formula a bit, and you've got the perfect recipe for everyone to enjoy the celebration. Now, what inspired the Brown Center to create something like this in the first place, a high holiday service designed for individuals with dementia?
So, working with people that are living with brain changes, we understand different needs that come up. Typically, a holiday service, depending on where you practice and spend your time, could be a 3-hour service, could be a 5-hour service. Most often it's in a sanctuary where the seats are immovable. There are times that the restrooms are further away. So the idea behind creating this service really was about finding a way to accommodate both the people that are experiencing and living with dementia, but also their families so that they could celebrate together. What makes the accessibility easier? What makes the ability to participate and stay for the service more available? So that's really why this service came about.
I love it. Always love to hear about great things to really help everyone in the community, especially those struggling with illnesses. Now, we touched on this just a second ago, but there are some unique accommodations that do help to make this service more comfortable and accessible for everybody. Could you go through some of those accommodations a little bit?
Sure. The first is knowledge. Everybody who's coming to the service, whether they have a diagnosis or they love somebody with a diagnosis or not, we all know that the service is geared toward understanding. So there's a compassion and an understanding between the people leading the service and the people attending the service and one another. And that's huge. The other issue is that we're not set up like a usual congregation in that there are set pews. We actually use chairs. And that way, if somebody has a walking device, a walker or a wheelchair, we're able to move the chairs so that people can sit with their family where they want to sit. We also have a restroom very nearby, so we're not asking people to walk further. We have room for people to stand if they need that movement and things like that. So we try to create an environment that can accommodate as many different needs as we can think of.
I love it. Now, as we said, this is the 9th year that this has been taking place, and there have been many families that have returned year after year to take this experience together. What kind of feedback have you received from them about the impact of this experience?
It is so special to talk with our families that come back year after year. I've had somebody say to me, "Oh, I knew that we weren't going to be able to go to services anymore. It just didn't fit our lifestyle." And now we're back. This is something that we've done for 50 years together, and we thought we weren't going to be able to do it anymore. I've had people who have come back and said, wow, my family member, my spouse, seems pretty closed in now. The disease has progressed, but they hear these melodies and I hear them singing, and it brings me back to those memories and that special place in our life, and it brings them out of their shell. So we've just had all different kinds of responses. They've all been very positive and pretty emotional too.
I'd imagine it would be a very emotional experience for everybody. For those just joining us, I'm talking with the Senior Adult Services Director for Gesher Human Services, Debi Banooni, who's talking about the 9th annual Dementia-Free High Holiday Service that's going to be taking place at the Fleischman Residence Chapel in West Bloomfield on Sunday, September 28th at 11 a.m. Now, it is important to note that this event it helps people beyond dementia, because you've mentioned that this service also supports adults with physical limitations. How do you design the space to meet their needs?
So it's like what I mentioned to you before. We use chairs and not pews. So if we need to move a chair so that somebody can get in with their walker or with their wheelchair, they can do that. We have entrances on both sides of the area that we're using, what we're considering the sanctuary, and you can get to a restroom going out of either side. Our aisles are larger so that, people are able to ambulate through them. We're just trying to make it as accessible as possible, regardless of what your needs are.
That's right. And you guys are also helping people who might not even be able to be there physically at the event, because you're also offering the service on Zoom to extend the reach to families outside of Metro Detroit. Talk about that for a little bit.
Absolutely. So we find, number one, it depends as people are changing with their dementia diagnosis, right? Is it that getting up and out of bed or getting dressed in the morning is difficult? Is it that being in a car, if we're 10 minutes away or 30 minutes away or 40 minutes away, is that something that makes it more difficult for someone to get there? Somebody who may have gotten a cold or an illness and doesn't want to be around other people, or is afraid to be around other people because they might get an illness that'll be harder for them to recover from. So we go ahead and offer people to join the service by Zoom, and that way they're able to protect their health or continue to recover from whatever health experience they're having, but also to celebrate the holiday and be a part of it.
I love it. Now we've heard what this event means for the families. I'm curious, what does it mean to you personally to see families celebrating the high holidays together in this more accessible setting?
Well, I would say it does a couple of things for me. Number one, it is so emotional. To be able to speak to the people that are coming and felt like they weren't going to have this experience again, and to be able to connect to, the holiest day of the year as a community, that gratitude that I see from people, the engagement when I see some people that I know who tend to be very quiet and reserved, and they're able to pray as a community. For me, that's very emotional and very special, but also it's very energizing. It reminds me why we do what we do and builds me up to continue to do it for another year.
Well, I can't wait to see this event continuing on for many years to come. I got a couple more questions before we wrap things up. And you've touched on this a little bit, but overall, how does this program reflect the mission of the Brown Center and its partnership between Gesher Human Services and Jewish Senior Life?
The whole idea behind the Brown Center is to serve people with cognitive altering diagnoses and their family care partners. And what this service does is it allows us to serve those parties together and allows us to create meaningful engagement between one another and the rest of the community. And it really does show that we're meeting people where they are and we're finding ways to bring them together. And it's really important work that we focus on.
It's the most important thing, and it's great to hear of your focus on everything that you are doing. Where can people go to learn a little bit more information about this event before its date?
So you can always go to our website, brownadultday.org. And if you go to our events tab on that page, you'll see all of the information about the High Holiday Service as well, and some other events that we have coming up to share with the community.
Can't wait to see it. Once again, the event is taking place on Sunday, September 28th at 11 a.m. at the Fleischman Residence Chapel in West Bloomfield. Debbie, thank you so much for joining us today here on The Splash Live.
Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure to speak with you.